Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day to start things off. Bitcoin is currently trading at around 11,800 and something-ish dollars after a significant breakout yesterday. Now the bulls are eyeing 12,000 US dollar, which is a crucial psychological level. While the trading volume for Bitcoin is decreasing on exchanges like Binance and others, there is good news for the first ranked digital currency. According to a recent report by CryptoQuant, difficult to say, on the 5th of August, the number of Bitcoin on exchanges has seen a dramatic drop in the past week. Before the massive Bitcoin breakout, the number of coins inside all exchanges was around 2.4 million Bitcoin, which is something, and we've never seen that number before. We have never seen that number mentioned before, and I'm actually really glad that they said it, because I had said before that I did not think that there was actually a huge amount of Bitcoin that was actively circulating. People had told me before that they roughly assumed that there were around 10 million Bitcoin on exchanges, but apparently it was 2.49 according to this metric. With Coinbase and Bitfinex on the front, the number has fallen to 2.39 million, the lowest number reported by CryptoQuant ever. This is a massive indicator of how bullish Bitcoin and the market currently are. Usually, if an asset experiences a sudden spike in price, investors will deposit them to take profits. In this case, investors are buying and withdrawing to hold in the long term. I hope everyone understood that. It's not that difficult, but we've seen before in the past. Remember when we've seen like a spike in price for a coin? And then everyone's like, oh no, things aren't looking too good. It's because the actual amount of that coin on cryptocurrency exchanges would increase dramatically. Because if it went up by 25%, everyone's like, well, now's the time to sell. But for some reason, Bitcoin's price goes up and more of it leaves cryptocurrency exchanges. Cole Garner commented on this fact, saying that Bitcoin flowing out of exchanges is bullish. He said the amount of Bitcoin held in exchanges just dropped off a cliff. It happened 2 days ago. Whales bought up the sell-off. BTC flowing out of exchanges is bullish. Yes, it is, for everything that they were just talking about. We've had this news multiple times over the past, it's been about a good month and a half at this point, if I can kind of put the actual time frame together. Once a week, we kind of get news that tons of Bitcoin is leaving cryptocurrency exchanges. I think this is going to continue to happen, because we've had this discussion once before and we don't really have to have it again. As Bitcoin becomes more valuable, and I said this yesterday in the video as well, when you can already pay for everything in Bitcoin, there's no real need to keep it on a cryptocurrency exchange. You kind of custody it yourself. You don't really leave something that valuable on a cryptocurrency exchange. We're going to see more of this happen, especially as more institutions get into the space and they're buying. I think a lot of places are now maybe potentially being forced to actually buy their positions on cryptocurrency exchanges. This is why I think we've seen these massive spikes up in price over the last couple of weeks. We haven't gotten a lot of OTC or over-the-counter news. It's just, of course, speculation, but it does kind of coincide with everything that seems to be going on. So if they are buying on cryptocurrency exchanges, this will cause the price to go up, and then we'll see a decrease in the amount of Bitcoin that's actually on these exchanges as these institutions are taking their money off of the platform. Tying into this as well, this is all like the very big news for today, is Bitcoin passing by 18,000. We're very close to 12,000. There was a huge amount of Bitcoin taken off of cryptocurrency exchanges, and this one says, according to information provided by the crypto Twitter account Whale Alert, 92,857 BTC, roughly around $1 billion. That's not a, it's not a million. It's actually an actual billion. Were sent from an unknown wallet for a fee of just under $4 at current market rates. Although the Bitcoin network is known for its generally low transaction fees, give or take, the cost per transaction has increased by over 500% in the last month. This is something that happens all the time, because we know that Bitcoin is slow and Bitcoin will have a huger backlog over the next couple of months. But usually when that happens, transaction fees tend to rise as well. Bitcoin Blockbot, another Whale Alert style Twitter account, reported on the 27th of June that a, 101,000 Bitcoin transaction had moved 0.5% of all Bitcoin currently in circulation. That is a massive amount of Bitcoin, with a total transaction fee of just 48 cents. First of all, did anyone catch that? I feel like if I owned, I feel like even if I owned 1,000 Bitcoin, I probably would never send it all at once at the exact same time in one transaction. It just seems scary to me. Sending 100,000 and 857 Bitcoin over $1 billion. Can you imagine sending over $1 billion worth of anything in one transaction? I'd chop it up into at least like 7 or 8 transactions just because the fear would be inside me. Anyway, the point is, this transaction that we just heard about when someone took off all that cryptocurrency from the cryptocurrency exchange into a wallet, only, and I say only very strongly, cost them anywhere between, says $4, and the actual thing online everywhere says $5. It doesn't really matter. Even if it had only cost them around $35 or even $1,000, that would still be dramatically lower than we've ever seen or would ever see from a bank. Banks tend to charge a lot of money the same exact way that we were talking about before. What are they called? The whole Western Union MoneyGram kind of thing. They also charge, I think one of their maximum fees is like 25%. And one of the issues is that if you're sending that money to some developing countries, they charge more in fees, which just kind of defeats the purpose because these people are probably sending lower amounts anyway. So the news is that $1 billion worth of Bitcoin was transferred off of a cryptocurrency exchange into some other unknown wallet, and the transaction fee was anywhere between $4 to $5, which is still absolutely incredible. Just be aware that if you are into Bitcoin currently, we are going to be experiencing some very high transaction fees over the next couple of months if the cryptocurrency market does continue to go up. I think the highest I ever paid for a transaction fee on Bitcoin was $28, but at that point it was definitely necessary. So don't underestimate how high these fees are going to go. Anyway, that's the Bitcoin price news transfer whale 500% Sherlock Holmes on a computer for some reason news. And without further ado, why is he when did Sherlock okay, moving on. When did that happen? Next up, researchers at Coinmetrics found that investors who dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin since the $20,000 peak in 2017 would still be profitable. According to researchers, an investor who continuously bought Bitcoin over the past 3 years would have a 61.8% return. Although the price of Bitcoin fell significantly, a lotly, from $20,000, there were extreme low points in 2019 and 2020. Investors who capitalized on these strong downtrends will easily be sitting on handsome profits today, they said. Despite Bitcoin still trading 30% below all-time highs, dollar cost averaging from the peak of the market in December 2017 would have a return of around 61.8%. or 20% annually, which is still absolutely incredible. You normally, most assets, the stock market traditionally annually gives you around 8%. Even real estate will sometimes give you between 10 to 15% if you're like in a really good area. So making 20% annually as Bitcoin was falling and then subsequently moving back up is great. Similarly, for Ethereum, still down 71% from its peak, dollar cost averaging from January 2018 would have returned around 87%, my gosh, or 27% annually on your money. I'm pretty sure Ethereum at the beginning of this year also dropped to $90. It was like 100 or 98. It was somewhere around that number. So people are in profits, and there's a little beautiful chart right there showing that people made money. I've seen so many people in the comment section. I mean, listen, you were not incorrect. Telling other people to dollar cost average into the cryptocurrency market over the last 2 years. Like I said, you were, according to all these charts and all the monies, you were completely correct. I don't have a dollar cost averaging strategy. I have a look at the numbers, assume that it's undervalued, and throw money into the market strategy. That's been my thing for the last couple of years, and I think it's working because I just keep throwing money into the market without much regard for anything else. Anyway, yeah, so apparently dollar cost averaging over the last couple of years would have still made you a 61% return on Bitcoin. I wonder what those, and I assume they used Bitcoin and Ether because they are the number 1 and 2 coin respectively. But I wonder what those numbers look like for many other coins, because I know a lot of other altcoins over that same exact time, have also been pumping as well. I don't mean the crappy ones either. I don't mean the ones that have been around for like a good 2 or 3 months. I mean the ones who've like really been here, have fallen down, and have seen some movements upward. Anyway, that's the dollar cost Bitcoin averaging news. Many of you, if you've been here for over a year listening to this channel, you probably should have been in profit by now, especially when we had that long discussion when Bitcoin fell down to around, was it 3,500 this year? And also the other years. I was like, hey, you know, you all have been saying you were waiting for Bitcoin to fall down, and this is your chance. So I hope you took that chance, because, I mean, if you got in that Bitcoin at 3,500, you made a good $8,000 in the last couple of months. Anyway, that's the Bitcoin news, and let's move on. In news that should shock no one, JP Morgan made headlines earlier this year after they announced their JP Morgan coin, which is a crypto token that the bank can use to make instantaneous transfers between global parties. It now appears that banking giant Goldman Sachs is fearful of falling behind the competition if they don't start adapting, as they may now be moving to introduce their own crypto token. This comes shortly after they appointed a new head of digital assets who will be guiding their efforts to implement and leverage the benefits of blockchain and digital ledger technology. Last month, Goldman Sachs named Matthew McDermott their new global head of digital assets, according to a recent report from CNBC. McDermott supposedly has a radical vision for the global financial markets. He believes that ledger technology will underpin the entire economic system within the coming decades. Oh, he should talk to a really good friend of mine, because we had that same exact conversation, and help automate many of the processes that currently require massive amounts of time and capital to complete, like IPOs and digital issuances. Unlike his predecessor that followed the Phil's role, McDermott is not an outspoken crypto advocate and appears to be more focused on blockchain technology. Yeah, because he's in the banking sector. The news is apparently Goldman Sachs is going to be launching their own coin. It appears that it is going to be a stable coin, and if you remember correctly, I said all of this was going to happen, and I guess this is the avalanche right now. Because JP Morgan announced that they were going to be creating their own cryptocurrency and that it was going to be a stable coin. And I think that was, first of all, and I think that was because that they were trying to simply get ahead of the game. But the issue is that they signed a whole bunch of other banks to actually use their coin. And I was like, no one's really going to want to say that. If you're Bank of America, if you're Deutsche Bank, you don't want to say, yeah, we're using a digital currency. What are you using? We're using JP Morgan coin. Well, why don't you have your own coin? And this goes into the ego of these actual companies and banks as well. So Goldman Sachs is now creating their own cryptocurrency, and the interoperability between these things are going to be absolutely terrible. I'm telling you right now, they're all going to want each other to use their own coin without having to use anyone else's coin. And it's just going to lead to a system, once again, like we currently have right now, where you're trying to send euros or dollars or yen around the world, and they end up getting stuck and have to bounce off of multiple systems to be able to actually process the actual transaction. So anyway, the point is Goldman Sachs is creating their own cryptocurrency. No one here should be surprised. I assume every other bank in the world is also doing the exact same thing. When you get the major players announcing that they're going to do something, all those who are lower than them financially, I did like the little money finger sign, are going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to assume that we're going to have this news from other banks very soon, and it's just going to be a poop show, because you should already have figured this out. The craziest part is that this would have, nope, I won't even say it. Nope, I'm not gonna even, nope, nope, let's move on. Nope. Next up, Grayscale is in the news. This was also very popular news for some reason, and I haven't begun to really figure out why. Crypto asset manager Grayscale Investments has publicly filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on behalf of its Ethereum trust to become a company reporting to the commission. This comes after Grayscale Bitcoin Trust became an SEC reporting company earlier in January. Grayscale Investments is known for its bullish sentiment around cryptocurrency. The company currently holds over $4.7 billion worth of Bitcoin on behalf of its clients, Further, the firm's Ethereum trust has around $745 million worth of Ether. In an announcement on the 6th of August, Grayscale revealed that it had voluntarily filed for its Ethereum trust to attain the status of an SEC reporting company. In particular, it filed a registration statement on Form 10 with the Commission. If the application is successful, Ethereum's trust will become the second platform to achieve the status of a digital currency investment vehicle, reporting to the SEC after Grayscale's Bitcoin trust. This was thrown around for some reason as something that was very bullish for Ethereum. I'm not saying that it's not, but it feels like this just has to do with Grayscale trying to fill their own pockets, i.e., I'm pretty sure they've had discussions before that they probably had to register with the SEC, but more so registering with the SEC allows them to legally, within the United States, offer their products to people within the United States. Because if I am correct, Grayscale has shares, which are probably listed as securities, and you would want more people to have access to these securities, so you would have to go through the US SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, to get their thumbs up to be able to say and allow the 350 million people within the United States to have the potential to access their securities through their platform, which would then cause more people to get into the cryptocurrency market through Grayscale, which would then cause them to increase the amount of Ether and Bitcoin that they are holding. That seems a lot more believable than anything else. Yes, it's bullish in a certain way. I don't doubt that. But a lot of times when and I don't know if it's just simple optimism when it comes to life. I see a lot of other people posting articles and stuff like that when they talk about these things, and it kind of comes down to like, wow, they're doing a really good thing for the people. These are billion-dollar companies trying to become trillion-dollar companies. I think their last thought is, let me help the little guy. It's let me help my own gigantic pockets to become even fatter. Anyway, yeah, so Grayscale is apparently filing with the SEC for the Ethereum trust, and I assume if approved, we would start seeing or probably receive news. Well, the SEC takes about 3 years to do anything. So I'm going to assume by the year 2024, we'll start getting news that the Ethereum trust for Grayscale is doing exceedingly well because they finally got approval from the SEC. That's the Grayscale news and SEC news, I guess, subsequently. And let's move on. Next up, crypto analyst Maddie Greenspan says the correlation between crypto assets and the S&P 500 have fallen significantly since the dramatic sell-offs in tandem with 19. In the 5th of August Quantum Economics newsletter, Greenspan stated that Bitcoin and crypto are once again able to claim independence from traditional markets. However, the analyst also added that even during the early stages of 19, roughly March to May, the markets were never more than loosely correlated. The following chart represents Bitcoin's correlation with the S&P 500 on a range of 1 for perfect correlation to a -1 to inverse correlation. That looks ridiculous. He said we can clearly see earlier this year where the correlation spiked to 0.6 due to 19-induced sell-off. By now, however, we're once again below 0.2, which means basically that there is no correlation on a day-to-day basis anymore. The only correlation that we saw, according to my eyes, with the stock markets around the world was the drop-off that was an induced panic around March. And even then I said that that didn't really make a lot of sense because typically, historically, we've seen that the drop-off in other traditional assets usually has a run-up for Bitcoin's price. People disagreed, but alas, here we are. I don't think there was ever any real correlation. I think it's very easy for people who may be whales or able to control and or put in huge sell orders to kind of scare other people when other markets are going down, which is a very easy to do tactic currently in the cryptocurrency space to be able to accumulate more. Fear is a very big thing, and if you can get other people afraid, this is why I told you all not to pay attention to those other crypto YouTubers or anyone on Twitter who was telling you months ago that the cryptocurrency market or Bitcoin was going to drop down to 1,000. They were probably in their own right trying to get you afraid to sell off your coins. I know it seems diabolical, but that's just how some people are. Because when you do that and enough people sell off, the price falls down, but these people who have very big pockets end up buying up the coins that you sold off. Aren't you happy that you didn't sell off your coins now? Remember when we were around $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 Bitcoin? How much money you've made over the last couple of weeks? Anyway, yeah, so apparently, thank you, Mr. Greenspan, for your dragon chart. I have like fangs. I have no idea what's going on here. I mean, I do understand. I get numbers. But yeah, apparently there's no more correlation. I didn't think we were ever really correlated. But alas, there are the numbers. So move on. Next up, Russia's largest bank, the Sberbank, is considering a stablecoin launch compliant with the recently passed cryptocurrency law. Wow, I did not see that coming. I just did not see that coming. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a cryptocurrency law. If we got the word law, signed a cryptocurrency that provides legal status to cryptocurrencies. See how weird it sounds? However, the law does not allow cryptocurrencies to be used as a method of payment. As such, Sberbank is looking to develop a ruble-pegged coin that can be used for settlements involving other digital financial assets. Wonderful. According to a report by local news outlet Kommersant, Sergei Popov, the director of the transaction business at Sberbank, stated that the bank is considering a... They're not considering it. This coin is probably already made. Probably. Allegedly. The stablecoin will be pegged to the Russian ruble in a ratio of 1-to-1. According to the report, the stablecoin will be compliant with Russia's new crypto bill. Yeah. Can you imagine their stablecoin from their central bank not being compliant with their law? And it will be implemented in January 2021. The bill prohibits the use of cryptocurrencies for payments. As such, the bank wants to... I mean, how great is the timing? It took 3 years to make this law. The law comes out, and apparently cryptocurrencies, decentralized ones as a payment, are completely illegal to use. A day after, their central bank is like, hey, we also made coin. As such, the bank wants to design a stablecoin that can become a basis for settlements involving other more volatile cryptocurrencies. Ugh. All right. What more can I say about this? Of course, they were making their own coin. I am of the belief, this is my mind, this is my mindset, this is how I currently feel. I think every major central bank already has their own coin. I don't really care what you say or what you think. It is the most believable thing in the entire world. We had tons of banks who showed interest 2 years ago into getting into the space. I can only assume... remember on the news that we had that a lot of really big, not prominent names within the cryptocurrency space, but a lot of these head developers were leaving to new projects, and they were working with, what are they called? Fidelity, and working with so-and-so. I assume that all these companies already have their own coin. They just simply haven't been released. They may be waiting for the use of them at some point in the future, or be able to say that they're doing it. Maybe they're trying to get regulatory compliance to be able to actually peg them to their currency in whatever country that they might actually be in. I think they all exist already. It's more a matter of they're probably doing testing. I would use the word extensive testing, but I don't have that much hope when it comes to a lot of these things. I just assume that they're just kind of testing it amongst themselves, if you will. Yeah, we got here years earlier than I was assuming. All the major banks in the world probably, in my mind, have their own digital currency. They're going to continue making them and or testing them, and within about a good 5 to 10 years, we're going to be in a very dystopian-esque situation in many different parts of the world. That's that news, and let's move on. And to finish things off, open interest on Bitcoin's regulated derivatives markets has surged past all-time highs as institutional players continue to take interest in Bitcoin. Per data from Skew Analytics, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or the CME's Bitcoin futures have roughly $830 million worth of contracts. Currently, only OKEX and BitMEX have more open interest in their derivatives platforms, making CME's open interest the third largest in Bitcoin derivative markets. Typically, unregulated exchanges like BitMEX, OKEX, and Binance and others attract more futures trading than regulated venues like CME or Bakkt. Futures contracts allow traders to buy or sell A given asset at a predetermined price at some point in the future. Bitcoin futures enable investors to speculate on the price of Bitcoin without actually buying Bitcoin itself. Without having to read much further, it appears that institutions are here, that they are actively within the cryptocurrency space. This is probably why we're seeing and have seen a lot of places trying to get themselves regulated. Because, I mean, in its simplest way, really big firms, really big institutional players are probably not going to try and use OKEX, BitMEX, or Binance anytime soon, as they don't 1000% fall under the actual purview of government. So they're going to be using the CME and or Backed or other things like that that have proper regulatory compliance on top of them to be able to make their money within the cryptocurrency space. And it also probably has to do with the fact that we had news before that a lot of the big players who are trying to get into crypto, how do I say this? They don't want to touch Bitcoin itself. They are more comfortable in dealing in derivatives of Bitcoin, dealing in Bitcoin futures so that they have some type of exposure to the market, but nothing concrete as if they were actually holding Bitcoin, which I think is going to be, it's great because it allows them to understand that they can make money from Bitcoin. And on the other hand, it's great because these are going to be the institutions who are going to help to drive the Bitcoin's price up massively in the coming years, because they're dealing in US dollars. And when we continuously see the devaluation of the US dollar and the up valuation of Bitcoin over the next couple of years, they're going to realize, oh my gosh, I should have actually purchased real Bitcoin 3, 4, 5 years ago. Let's start doing it now. But at that point, we will have a very controlled, stringent, tight circulating supply of Bitcoin. And they will, I mean, they're all going to help us potentially, maybe, allegedly, become richer in the future. So thank you. Keep using those Bitcoin futures contracts because, yeah. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, Anna Marita, A Biblio Obia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohar Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Knight, Owl 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Damian Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Richard III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangela, Vori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hishesh, Everyday, Costly, Leg Day. Jeez Louise, I have to breathe. Yes to Crypto, Bodie, Boatface, Anytime Fitness, Monks Runner Staff, Arfmedic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho, Nisa, On Crypto with Lano, Crayola, Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. And thank you to everyone who is a supporter of the channel in their own way. Little bit of a dark joke, but I pictured myself like just reading all the Patreon names in one breath and then realizing that I had no air left and kind of just like collapsing on the floor because I have a very dark humor. And I pictured everyone like listening and just hearing like a drop and being like, where did he go? But then like it's just silence for about a good 20 minutes. Anyway, like I have very dark humor. I apologize. At the moment, Bitcoin's price is at 11,843 US dollars. It is looks like it's moving up. It looks like over the night that we actually hit 12,000. There was a bit of a dip here, but this little pop-up right there is causing the rest of the coins to continuously go up. XRP is up by 3%. Cardano, was Cardano number? It wasn't. Cardano was not number 6 yesterday. I think Cardano was like number 12 and then number 11 and number 8. Cardano's now the number 6 coin, unless I'm missing something. It's like a smidge over BSV at the moment. Huh. Interesting indeed. I mean, realistically, if we gain enough momentum, we can pass by even Bcash, because just you know. Litecoin is up, Chainlink is up, EOS is up by 6%. It looks like this could be it. This could be the moment, because we needed to get past 12,000. We got past 12,000, but apparently had a little dip in between. And if Bitcoin, I assume, passes by, I mean, we need $159 to pass by 12,000. It's not that difficult, I think, at this point. We may then see that dramatic surge to 14,000 US dollars. That would be a great way to end the week or end the Friday or have the Friday go away. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I do hope that you all enjoyed. It's been a heck of a week, and the crypto news every day is nothing more than ridiculous. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.